I think you gotta start by calling some of those places, and I will get Mikey Yuga's number for you.
Who?
Mikey Yuga runs Agape House.
Oh, okay.
And they have a house right here at...
Yeah, they got a couple down here, don't they? A few.
They did. I think they're doing something, but they have a house on Delaware.
That one I've heard of.
And then they also have a house on the west side.
Because weren't they redoing some of them or something?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what they're doing with the one downtown, but they're moving the guys to the west side. But it's got to be on the bus lane.
I'm sure it is. I would just rather be downtown if I could.
Well, and I don't know.
I know.
Exactly. I feel like Bancroft is just like just east or just west of downtown.
621. I think that was when I was in Irvington.
Maybe.
But I've heard a lot about the J.R. Desi house too, because a friend of mine was there.
I've heard things about them recently.
And the lady's name was Rhonda, and I guess she's looking to work with us. I don't know. And Rick said he'd tell her that I already talked to her, so I don't know. I need to call her back.
Well, there's another option. I don't know if you're gonna like it.
What?
Pathways.
What's that? Is that a Jesus place?
No, it's not a Jesus place.
It freaks me out there too.
No, I don't. Yeah. But
It just does.
yeah. I feel you. Pathways is not a Jesus place. However, they will like take your phone and keep you for like 2 weeks or a month, and then progressively step you back into the community.
Okay.
But they go to Woodruff a lot.
Okay.
And then they actually have supported living apartments. So
Well, and I think that's kind of my plan, because I don't want to live by myself, because that's not going to work for me right now.
well, in the apartments, this is what's really cool.
Well, I mean, as long as it's a community, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really cool. I think they have like 3 apartment buildings, and you get your own apartment, you can have guests, but everyone who lives in there is in recovery and part of Pathways.
Right.
And they'll take you for free.
Oh.
So there's that. Now, the other thing is they've kind of old school recovery, so they make you show up, and they'll turn you away a few times first.
Okay. They make you go away for a few times?
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, well, we don't have any beds right now.
Okay.
You need to go to some meetings, then come back, and then you'll come back, and they'll be like, oh, I thought I told you to show up at 10. And,
Okay.
they just make you prove that you want to.
I gotcha.
Like, I don't know, how old are you?
61, 62 in November.
How do you look 43?
Oh my God, you are so kind.
It's fine though, whatever.
Well, I see I'm going to do early retirement, so that's going to have money coming in. So that's what I'm kind of like holding up for.
Your early retirement?
At 62.
From what job? The convention center?
I did have like a really nice.
Oh, so do you have
healthy
like a
career.
401k?
Yeah.
I am so proud of you that you have not ruined that.
Oh, well, I ruined the 401k. I spent on my retirement, but this is Social Security.
Oh, okay.
Which would be, well, it used to be $2,000 a month, and then it dropped down to $1,800 for some reason. Probably because I haven't worked for a while. I don't know. But.
Well.
And I talked to like people at the gaming center and my therapist and stuff, the whole group of them, because I trust them, and they said that they would recommend me take early retirement and start getting some money, because it'll go back up to the full amount, and I will continue to work.
So I think that's a great plan, except play the tape through. If you don't have a firm foundation of recovery.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. At least I have money to be in a sober living place, and not have to worry about if I'm going to get booked for like the following week.
Oh God,
at the convention center.
Well, and that, yeah, if you can get someplace stable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that would be a nice thing about Pathways, for example, is like they don't expect you to work while you're. I mean, eventually they do.
Oh.
But they give you some time.
Well, can you though?
Yeah, but not right away. I think they give you 2 weeks.
Oh, for that whole phone deal and everything.
Yeah. But I think it would be worth at least finding out what they're talking about.
Okay.
You and I know someone who's there.
Okay.
Maybe someone you shouldn't,
Oh.
but he's not gonna be there forever either. He might not be there anymore. You know?
Yeah, we saw it lose some rain.
Mm-hmm. But,
I got weird vibes from him the past couple times anyway, so that was cool.
well, we're all
You know.
sick people.
Yeah, definitely. Tell me about it.
I know, I think you sometimes suffer though from appearing to be healthier than you are.
Absolutely. That's one of my good things and bad things.
I was telling Katie after we saw you on the street, I was like, God, I wish Kurt could just be unlovable. You know, because normally,
I wish I could just love myself. I just fucking am like lost. Like I just am lost. And then I get really lonely. And like the family's not really there anymore since mom died. And I never had a group of friends really, so it's just been. And right now I'm just like so tired of it all. You know, I just feel alone. Period.
what's the longest you ever been clean?
A little over a year. I don't even remember when that was. Jesus. Because that whole year using, yeah, which was like this past February, previous until this past February, I was using. Yeah.
You know,
And this will be the fourth time, like 1, 2, 3. The third time I've left Harbor Light since February.
I know. Because that was,
And they were kind of like, see, they had me all signed up to go to ARC. And then I found some more things out about it. It's like a big Jesus thing.
I think you would
and it's
struggle
class
with
after
ARC.
class. And so did some other guys. That's what they told me about it. They take away your phone for a month. You can't leave for a month. You know, and you can't work for a month. Or maybe you can. I don't know. But it just sounded.
it's very intense.
That's what I heard.
There's
It's
no
like, you know,
freedom of movement. I
like,
think they
keep
have
you
those
busy
guys working at
24/7.
the,
And then you gotta go to church, so find your shirts and ties, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, ugh.
yeah. Well, and I mean, I think it's,
And it's free, but you get $7 a week or something. Yeah, you work all week, 40 hours, and they give you
they
like,
work at the Salvation Army store right there,
Right,
across from
right.
the CCA.
but you work for pennies a day. Pennies.
Well, I mean, you're
For
working
6
more.
months. Right. But
And Damien Center doesn't have anything?
well, I need to talk to her. See, the phone lines have been so fucked up. Like, I haven't been able to reach him yesterday or today again, which is so frustrating. And so, and I have a friend that works there, so I've been texting him, and he's been talking to the people in housing. And he said and the girl, Tyne, is the one that actually came and got me and took me to Harbor Lakes that day, which I absolutely love. And that's who I would have talked to, but I haven't been able to get a hold of her. And I only have, like, I get out tomorrow, like at 3:30, so then I'm gonna shoot to Damien Center, but,
Right.
you know, and if you can't leave a message, you know, because I can't get through.
I was under the impression that the Damien Center used to have apartments. Or maybe they
Oh,
still do.
they do, but they're horrible. That's where I discovered crack.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's called it's on Bessel, Raymond and Bessel. Something, at Connor House.
Okay.
There's like 20 apartments and it's still full of using.
I'm just trying to think. You know, I think you have options. I mean, that's the good thing.
Right, well, and that, you know, I feel better knowing that. Because I was feeling pretty stifled. Because I haven't been getting much help anywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
And I know it's on me, it really is. But I think, you know, your environment has a lot to do with it too. I don't care what anybody says.
well, no one here is going to give up on you.
And nobody's making me do this. I want to do it. I'm just really having a tough time. Really, really tough time.
I know.
Because things can be so good and then boom. And then I've been off track since a month now. Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I haven't felt like I did when I lived here for quite a while.
Well, and we're looking primarily at like recovery houses, and you won't hear anybody else up here say this, but what about harm reduction? I mean, can you smoke weed and not
Right.
smoke meth? I mean, I would prefer you not do anything.
Yeah, and I've noticed too when I've been smoking, it's really taking a toll on me.
Well, I hear the cough.
Yeah. Well, that's about the cigarettes too, but like it takes me down for at least a week or so, like my breathing and all that stuff. So I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like at that moment I don't care. I get to that point where I don't care.
Well, but so what's?
Well, and part of it too. Well, I'm coming out because they made me stay in detox for a week, you know, and I was totally fine, except I had a dirty drop. I mean, I wasn't like having any effects or any weird behavior because they never would have asked me.
Right.
The whole place got a drop, which I mean is good in one way and bad in another for me. But you know, and at the time I did, I thought, damn, I'm gonna. It's like they never do, like all them drops. And I
Right.
just knew when I took that first hit, that was like. But you know, I just kind of think it's, you know, that was meant to be. So.
We just have to find a place that you can be stable. That's, I think, number one.
Right.
But what is taking you back out? Is it dudes?
It's sex. Because of that loneliness shit. And that's what, I mean, that's been my go-to since a very young age.
But so are we having, like, are we fucking dudes that we know are getting high, or like, is it a grinder thing, or what? What are we doing?
Both. Like, I fuck dudes that get high, and I fuck dudes that don't get high. I used to only fuck dudes that didn't get high.
So let's do that. I mean, look.
Well, and I'm getting fed up with it anyway right now because there's so much shit on there as far as you get these guys and they're not even in indie and they send you to this website and they want you to pay to get on their website. And this dude today, I was going to hook up with him right after work. So I was like, damn, because I was like, I got stuff to do, you know, but here I was going to go fuck some kid, 20-some years old, and as soon as you know I was on the bus, the profile went away. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And I have trust issues anyway. You get on trusting people like on Grindr. You know what I'm saying? This is fucking nuts. And then somebody said, well, maybe you need to go to SA. And it's like, well, that could be.
I mean, of course you need to go to
I
SA.
don't fucking know anymore.
Of course you need to go to SA, but the thing is, like, you're not going to get kicked out of your housing for fucking strangers.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, one thing at a time.
I just hate, like, you know, and when I saw, I didn't see you out there, but when I saw Katie, yeah, it was like Katie, yeah, Katie. I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Totally. Oh shit. And then when I saw you, it was better. It was like, and that I was able to tell you much more. Like I probably would have said anything to Katie. I just don't feel that comfortable with her.
Yeah.
In that way. Or maybe I would have, but I wasn't feeling it. Like I was like, ooh, let me go back to and have a cigarette.
Well, because there's sometimes where you're like, I mean, my experience is there's sometimes where you're like desperate and willing to come clean to anybody, and then there's other times where you're like, I just feel grimy as fuck right now.
Right.
But, oh, Kurt. I was telling Katie, I was like, you know, normally if somebody cycles through this many times, you just get to the place where you're like,
I know, and that's where I'm at with a lot of people. That's what's really getting to me.
well, you're not there with us yet. We still care about you quite a bit.
There is hope.
There is hope. I'm telling you, you are charming and articulate to your own detriment.
Yes. That's been my whole thing through life.
But I think if you want to have random sex, you should do random sex with people who aren't doing drugs. Or like, what about that gay meeting on Broadway? Where is it? Broadway United Methodist. Where is it?
There's a really good one out at, and the guys I know because I went there once because it was hard to get there. And it was, that Hell's Angel guy took me there. But now he's like really, like blown me off since I've used. Man, you just keep doing the same thing over and over. You know, blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna do anything.
Well, there's one on Sunday at like 5,
Okay.
and I think it's,
Well, they have a real good meth meeting on Friday nights too.
well, stay,
But you know what? I never used
Fuck
meth, so
those
I started to
guys.
go. I never used meth until I went to meth meetings.
well, I was gonna say stay away from meth meetings, but go to gay meetings and fuck those people.
Yeah. I
Or
don't
go to
know, I love the
AA
gay
and
crowd.
fuck those people.
Okay. That's true.
I mean, because the thing is,
Most of them are like real bitches that I mean, not.
so what? It's about sex. It's not about making friends.
See, that's my thing too, because I like get older sometimes. Like I'm easy, like I just go deep. But I mean, if we do it more than once or twice or whatever, but if it's just a one-time thing, it's just been.
I just think, I mean, if we're looking at like how to be okay right now,
Right.
you know, it's about like meeting those needs in other ways.
Right.
You know, at long term, yeah, you probably, well, you definitely need to look at like your core beliefs about yourself. You are an inherently lovable person. You are significantly more lovable than many other people. You know, you're not just lovable because you're a human and humans deserve love. You are genuinely like the kind of person people want to be around. So that's cool.
Well, and I felt that way for the first time when I was here, like, because I felt like I was helping people and I just felt good about me.
And you were. I wanted you to be our person that would kind of welcome people in because you were so good at that and people were just drawn to you. Like,
Yeah, I like that too.
I mean, you remember Scott? He was a nurse.
Oh, is he gay?
Mhm.
Chubby?
Mhm.
He was at the meeting I was talking about.
And he's one of those people too that people just kind of flock to.
Yeah.
But which is interesting because I don't think that he's quite as overtly lovable as you are. You know, I mean, he's a great guy with,
Right.
but you have this thing that draws people to you, and I think that if you don't have friends, it's because you don't want to, or
Or know
because
how to.
you don't know how to, because people want to be friends with you. And so, like, in time, that's something to explore.
Well, and I've told people this because they'll say something like, well, you gotta help me here because I'm not real good at keeping friends, you know? Like, I just, maybe because that's, like, I don't know, to get to know me, or maybe because I know I'm gonna end up hurting them. Because the thing is now, like, I end up wanting to get them before they get me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know. That's a trauma response.
So,
You've been traumatized, though. You know?
I guess.
I mean, your whole life is an exercise in trauma because even when you choose to have random sex with strangers, it's still traumatizing, even if it's your choice. And plus, random strangers who want to have sex with you don't always tell you what they expect from that experience before you're in that place.
I'm not afraid of doing any of that. Like, I'm just like, I don't even think about it.
Well, you're wearing down your boundaries.
Oh yeah, they've been down for quite a while. I didn't used to be this way. I was really picky and very, very selective.
Well, and you could be very, very picky today.
I know, that's the thing. Like, I want to get back there. But it's been such a long time, I don't even see it as an option today. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I get it, because when I go through and see pictures of shit I used to do, or like where I was at, you know, in my life, and then I'm like, oh my god, I forgot all about that, or, you know, I just forget about the good times without drugs, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe I
Yeah.
just smoked weed. I mean, I never really did nothing.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
I wasn't shooting up, and it was, at that time, I don't want to say controlled, because it wasn't. I mean, it was, until it wasn't.
it was until it wasn't, right? But like for right now, I mean, if you're going into a sober house, obviously they're gonna drug test you.
Right. Well, and I need that. I need some kind of accountability.
But I am more pro Kurt not smoking meth than I am anti-drug.
Okay.
you know? And like, I don't know, just whatever it takes for you to survive is what we gotta do.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's the worst shit.
Cause you scare me sometimes.
I scare myself sometimes, lately a lot, because I hate not caring about it.
The nice thing is though, is that you have come back here so many times in the last 6 months. I mean, that takes courage, but it also means that you want it and you're not just like out there, fuck it, whatever, you know, you'll never see me alive again or whatever, you know, because you could do that.
I could do that.
You could do that, but I mean, I don't think it's good for your quality of life,
No,
but that's what's cool about the fact that you keep coming back.
because that's what I hated today when she said, oh, you know, you gotta get this together and this, that, and the other. I'm like, oh, fuck, you know, why don't I just leave tonight and sleep under a tree and go get fucked up?
Who, as Mariah? Yeah, because
And I know, I mean, they're totally, you know, it's totally, I don't want to say legit that she says that, you know, because they've helped me out before, and I understand their situation, their living conditions, so I can't really, you know, I can't expect people to like be letting this happen time and time again, especially, you know, them and their kids, and they're both sober, and I don't know.
I mean, that's true, but what's also true is that Gavin and Mariah obviously care about you
All they do.
so much because they're willing to do
Right,
that,
right.
you know? And that's like a theme in your life, right? Gavin and Mariah, Nathan and his partner,
Yeah, it's always that way.
people who love you
People
so
I've worked
much.
for that I got real close to, like Nathan's family, his partner's family. Yeah.
I mean, and these are people who, again, like you said it too, they trust you with their kids.
Trust me to stay in their house. Trust me to give a key to their house.
So,
And then I go and fuck them.
I'm gonna get real cheesy on you for a minute.
Go ahead.
Okay. So like it's about the story we're telling ourselves. And when we want to rewrite our story, the first thing we have to do is identify what we think, right? Kurt's a piece of shit, okay? Then we look for evidence that that's not true. Times that wasn't true. It wasn't true that you were a piece of shit when you successfully took care of Nathan's children
Right.
and, you know, or Kurt's unlovable. That's not true. Look at the people who have continually brought you back into their homes, not just their lives, but their homes and their families, okay? So then we replace it with something else, you know? Kurt is a work in progress. Kurt is a good guy who sometimes makes mistakes, whatever. You come up with your own affirmation, and then you continue doing the things that make that true, right? That's how we change our core belief about ourselves.
Right.
And I think that's really where you have to go. You have to, because otherwise you're going to continue doing the same
Right.
thing.
That's what I've done.
You've become a nomad,
Really.
you know? And so what's stopping you from wandering the streets, having
Not much.
random sex and smoking meth? Well, the choices
Well,
you
I
make is
mean,
what
yeah.
stops you. I
But,
mean,
like, if I wasn't around you, then where would I be? So, you know, I think things like that. I mean, I think that was supposed to happen for some reason. I don't know why, but those moments come about that I see as I don't know, someone having a little more power than I do, that I'm running into the right people.
well, you deserve wonderful things, you know? It's okay to cry, because that's what makes you human. So my understanding is that, so I know a girl who opened a lot of these houses here, these Oxford houses, and I ran into them at the recovery rally, and I kind of put it in their ear that, you know, like, I need places to send people, and they said to me, $50 deposit, and then they kind of winked at me and said, we don't turn anyone away.
Do you know how much it is, like for a month or a week? No, that's what I don't know.
I don't know.
The important thing is important.
And you know what, if they'll take you and, like, let's say you're working just enough at the convention center to give them something,
Right.
and they can help you, or I can help you get your Social Security in place for early retirement.
Yeah, I need to pull that up and do it, because my case manager, I mentioned to her, she's,
I mean, because if you do that, right?
yeah.
I mean, and
I could have filled it out like a month ago, because you can do it like, I don't know, 3 months before your birthday or something like that. And here it is, October, and November's my birthday, and I haven't done anything about it. 'Cause
But-
it takes quite a while.
I'm sure it does, but if you're showing them that you're working and that you have that going on, I'm sure that they'll let you stay there.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I
I
mean?
do,
Because the thing is like, if they're not gonna turn anyone away,
right.
then it's only reasonable for them to help you find a job that's more consistent, or
Right.
let you stay there on a flexible payment. You know? And I think that Bancroft house, I mean, I actually, the more I think about it, I think that is on the east side,
Pretty soon.
but 1400 block, that would be like a straight shot on the bus.
Yeah.
You know, that would be super easy.
Oh yeah, any place over there's easy.
Right.
You get the 8 or the 10.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was living. So yeah, I got stuff to go with. And I, like today, on a smoke break, I'll call somebody, and at lunch I was calling people, but just not getting anywhere.
Right.
You know? It doesn't like, I don't know. I was just really frustrated, you know, that I wasn't getting any help, you know, or communication.
Well, what kind of people are you calling? Like friends?
No, I was calling like the Damien Center
Oh,
and
your
Life
caseworkers
Care,
and
yeah,
stuff.
the people that I know that I would think would be able to help, but they seem clueless over here.
The system is not set up to succeed, but also like, if I'm just speaking frankly, case managers are not educated by like
No.
giving them resources.
No,
They're taught how to like use electronic medical records, and they're taught how to like talk to people, but they're not taught like
no.
boots on the ground. This person needs someplace to go.
Right. And she's like, oh, why didn't you call me last week? And I was like, well,
I wasn't
First of
homeless
all,
last week.
wasn't homeless, and I didn't have a phone because they took it away.
Oh yeah,
It was
it's
a
your
detox. So I was kind of strapped. Oh, okay, well, I don't think we can do anything until, you know, after this coming weekend. It's like,
Were you
oh.
making enough money at the convention center to pay your rent at Harbor Light?
I was all paid for through Ryan White, see. That was the big deal.
Maybe Oxford can work with Ryan White. I mean, it's possible.
It's possible. I don't know. I don't know if Ryan White pays for anywhere or if Harbor Lights isn't. Yeah, I'll have to check into that.
I don't know. I can do some research on that too. Because Ryan White is better than Medicaid.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and if I can, like, if I'd only talk to certain people, I know, like, because that girl I'm talking about, Time, she really, like, got me through a really bad situation. Really bad.
Well, do you know Ryan, who goes to Woodruff a lot?
Ryan.
It's not Ryan, it's Ryan. And
Ryan.
he was at that meeting that we were both at Lucille Raines. He was sitting next to me. Not the brown guy, the young guy.
Oh, was it Huntington?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, oh, I thought his name was Ryan. Is it Ryan?
He calls himself Ryan because it's easier for
Oh,
people,
okay.
but it's Ryan. He might be a good person to reach out to. I mean, just for having a network and having people who are
Right.
like,
See, and I had that when I was here, but like it's dropped off, and I still talk to Nick, and it's like I go out and then he goes out, and then he called me the other day and said, you know, are you coming to Woodruff? And I said, no, I gotta find a place to stay, and that must have been yesterday or Tuesday. Today's Thursday. And Adria that was here, she was picking me up.
and Adria's doing well, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Hello?
Hello, Miss Kelsey.
Oh my god! Do you guys know each other?
I don't
Oh, I got, hold on, let me
I'm not excited.